I feel like diet culture sets you up to never be good enough.
Did you burn 500 calories on the treadmill today? No? Me either.
I mean, anybody can sit with us. We're just really not about diet culture.
But literally, happiness doesn't come from a low-calorie, high-intensity life. I actually do like carrots.
I do too. They're my favorite.
Welcome to the Fit Fueled Free podcast.
So basically, diets suck.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 42. I'm Danielle.
I'm Jenna.
And today we're going to have another low-key, casual quarantine chat, as we're calling them these days, because we've had a couple more intense and serious episodes, and we just want to make sure we keep everything even and balanced right now with the state of the world. So, Jenna, what's new?
Let's see, what is new? We've been picking up some new hobbies during this time, which has been interesting. Landon has always wanted to have a garden, but we rent right now, so we haven't wanted to put time and effort into building one, growing one, whatever, since we don't really know how long we're going to be in this house. But we recently had friends drop off some extra pots of things they were growing, and Landon has taken it to a whole other level. It is his little baby that he is nursing now, and it is really funny. He had it on our bar cart the other day, facing the window, and this morning he was like, "Babe, the plants are facing towards the window to get sunlight. It's so cool." And then he I don't know why I'm talking in that voice. That's not how he talks, but and then this afternoon he put him outside to get sunlight, and he's like, "Now they're sticking straight up." And he's getting super enthusiastic about the life of these little plants. And so he came in and he's like, "I just really hope I don't kill them. I really need to keep them alive." And I'm it's just funny to watch him.
That's adorable.
Get so enthusiastic about these plants. So.
The last time that we bought lettuce that has the root in it in that plastic box, Matt tried to start growing it, and he had set it in a cup on our sink, and I thought it was looking like it needed some water, so I added a bunch to it, but apparently I drowned it. And the other day I was like, "We should grow some lettuce," and he just looked at me and was like, "Well, I tried to grow some lettuce." So we got another one of those lettuce containers, and I'm gonna let him try and see if we can get it to grow. And I think we'll work on some gardening in a couple more weeks, because we have that planter out back that he built that's up off the ground. So we'll see how it goes this year.
That's so great. Yeah, we've tried, we've had a couple succulents
Yeah.
in our married life span, and we've killed them all.
Oh, really?
Which I feel they're the easiest thing to keep alive. So he is determined to keep these little, I think one of them's a pepper, one is maybe cilantro, a cucumber.
Awesome.
Pretty intense stuff, and he's made it his mission to make sure that they stay afloat. So we'll see how that goes.
We planted some seeds for wildflowers that Matt's friend sent us from New Jersey. I don't know his exact job title, but he harvested these seeds from outside, and they're supposed to be good for the pollinators. So we have 6 different containers out waiting for the little guys to germinate so that they'll pop up. So we'll see what happens there.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, gardening is fun. I don't like getting dirty, but I like watching things grow.
Yeah. I don't know if I like the process of it, but I definitely like the outcome, which is probably comparative to a lot of things in life. You don't like the process, but the outcome. So yeah.
My aunt has a legitimate garden back at home, and I helped her a little bit because she would always give me some of the harvest, and I started to feel a little bit bad that I wasn't contributing labor.
Yeah.
But I've always been around them because when I was little, my grandma had a big one as well, and she used to make me and my brother help her pick the potato bugs off of the potatoes. Yeah, which is funny to imagine myself doing that because I don't know if I actually would pick a bug off a plant right now with my bare fingers, but I did it as a child.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about you guys?
Well, other than those little planting adventures, well, I'm taking full credit for this, but I made us a really cool escape room, basically, not in the way of like the escape rooms that are games in real life, but like it's an escape in our house. So I transformed our guest bedroom into an outdoor camping scene. So I took our bed and I pushed it up against the wall and put a tent on top of it. And I wrapped a string of lights around the poles and then put like a comforter and a bunch of big pillows inside of it. And then I took the bookshelf and took some of the like eucalyptus plant leaves that I had used on our wedding tables and put that all over the bookshelf. And then I have a toasted marshmallow candle that I put on top of it to get like the right scent. And then I took a bowl and I rolled up 2 pieces of brown construction paper and then like crumpled orange, yellow, and red. And then I found it was like meant to be one single candle that's electronic. So I could put that in there and it like looks like a little fire, pretend fire.
Uh-huh.
And then I put our Christmas tree in there too, to be like an evergreen tree. So we've been hanging out in there on the weekends, and I'm quite certain I'm leaving that in there until we have people come to stay over again. And then if it's like my brother, he can sleep in the tent. He'll be fine with that. But it's fun, and it smells so good in there, like the roasted marshmallows, because we keep the door shut so that Sawyer doesn't destroy anything. And it's just like, I don't know, it's so great. Like it's our little weekend getaway. Yeah, I love doing things like that. And I think a lot of times we get like stuck in our heads of like we can't, do things to have fun or whatever because we can't get out. And I've always been so inspired by the forts that Landon builds you guys. And I was like, I need to do something. And then Matt loves camping, so that was my inspiration. But
So creative. I love it.
thanks. I was happy with how it came together. I'm very proud of my little creation, and I just love hanging out in there. There's something about being in a small enclosed, like in a safe way, but a small enclosed thing that just like feels comforting and relaxing.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a tree fort or like a tree house. That's like when you're younger, like you love, like, kids loved, or even just like a little, like crawl space or like a fort. I mean, I loved that stuff when I was little. It's like a own little like hideaway or like safe space.
And it's super comfortable because it's like a couple inches longer on each side, but it structurally fits just fine. And we like with enough pillows, we can lean up against the one wall within the tent without like breaking it. So it's extremely comfortable to be inside too. So it was like, it just worked out really well. So I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, I saw it. I think you put it on your Instagram the day you guys made it. And I was like, this is epic.
Yeah.
It was so cool. I was like, man. Yeah, we've made forts, but it's in our family room. And then I get like annoyed that it's like taking up so much space because it's our common room. And that's where I've been doing like my workouts. So I'm like, we can't keep it up. But I wish we had like a room where we could just like keep a fort indefinitely to just be like a little hideaway.
Yeah, well, why don't you use your guest room?
Yeah, we could. I guess because that's where like Nala's crate is, and that's where she sleeps.
Oh, okay.
We have the bed with like the frame. Yeah.
I see.
And we can't move it anywhere. I guess we could, I don't know, maybe we could get creative and like build something on the bed, but yeah, might have to get the creative tap out for that one, or leave it up to Landon because he's way better in that department than I am. But Yeah, I guess we could do that.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 recommend dedicating an entire room of your house to fantasy world so you can escape during coronavirus.
I wonder if that's why I've been enjoying Sims so much, because it's like a quote fantasy world. I got Landon hooked on it last night. He was like, he plays his little like FIFA like handheld game. Because he's like, that's what quiets his mind. And then I use Sims to like quiet my mind. But then I would catch him like kind of like looking over my shoulder to see what I was doing. I was like, you want to just make a family with me? And he's like, I'll just watch you do it. And then slowly I started to do it. And then next thing you know, the laptop is in his lap and he's like designing the dude with all the clothes. And it was funny.
That's awesome. When I played that as a younger person, I guess I was in middle school, maybe early high school, when I would come home and play it every day after school. I don't remember the people dying so quickly.
Yeah, I know.
But like, I've now made 3 characters, but my first girl, I had her fall in love with someone, and then I made another character just to like grow my little village. And then while I was playing them, I saw she had gray hair when she walked by, and I was like, how did this happen? So I kept playing. I made my dude fall in love with some girl. The Goth family.
Oh yeah.
I guess Mortimer had died already, so she was free.
Mm-hmm.
And then she apparently was much older, like so old that her daughter is older than my dude.
Oh.
And she died on him, but we got him to come back to life one time because her son begged the Grim Reaper for me. But then she died like 2 days later, and it was devastating. So I was like, my guy's still a young adult, and his old wife just died. She actually died in the pool. It was tragic. She freaking drowned.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my character, I tried to get him to go in, and he started swimming laps, and I was like, no, I don't think you understand what this situation is. So
funny.
I'm kind of like, and then I went back to my original house, and my original girl was already dead. She aged.
No, it could do that while you weren't playing the game.
Yep. Because they still walk around living their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of crappy. I guess if you made them in a different world, that wouldn't happen. But I wanted to like have like multiple things happening. Yeah. So now I already got my guy wifed up with someone else. Some of these Sims are like, they get flirty and go like instantly.
I know. There's like a code, like a cheat code to make them like age down.
I thought there was a Fountain of Youth potion in the original game, and I'm like, how do you get that thing? Because like I almost cried when my girl died because they were so happy in love, and I was like, why did you? I just moved her in. She had like $100,000, so I made this sick house. But then all her kids had to move in too, and they're like old people. And I'm like, gotta get you out of here, Connor. I started naming them after Love Island characters, by the way. I'm like, I've played for like 20 hours and I just downloaded this game on Saturday.
That's amazing. Oh my God. You name them after Love Island characters.
Yeah. You haven't watched the UK season yet.
No, we've only watched Australia.
Well, when you watch the UK, watch the most recent one.
Okay.
It's so good. And yeah, that's how I'm doing it. The first one I named after myself, but then I was like, nah, this is more fun. Also, the Australia version of Love Island is way more sexual than the UK version, like way more. And I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, we haven't seen the UK one, but I've seen one of the like United States ones.
Okay.
And then I watched the Australian one, and both Landon and I were like, all right, Australian TV must be way less censored than America, because you were getting body part shots handedly. And yeah, I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. But we finally finished season 1 of Love Island Australia. It was like 30 episodes. Landon was like, we need to just get this over with so I can like move on with my life. And I was like, yeah, there's like 6 seasons, but.
Is that the one with Cassidy and Grant? Okay, that's what we're watching right now. We're only like 12 or 13 episodes in.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've been naming my people after the UK season because I know them better.
Funny.
But yeah, I've like gotten myself so invested. I blame you, by the way, for literally my entire downfall because
I'll take the blame.
I started watching The Bachelor and now I'm over here watching Love Island and playing The Sims, and that's all I care about.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I gave one of my girls in The Sims a dog, and it started as a puppy, grew into an adult, and then once it turned into like an elder dog, it was saying like the life is a lot shortened. And I had a heart attack. I can't even believe I'm going to admit this, 2 hours one afternoon Googling and figuring out how to keep the dog alive and get it like because I found out there's like a age down treat that you can get the dog and feed it to the dog, and it goes back to like a younger version. And I was like having a heart attack. I was like, I need to find this treat before this dog dies. And Landon was like, it's a computer game.
No,
like,
it's your
like, but it's my like alternate life. Like my chick is like a famous actress. I'm like channeling the actress I never got to be. And
That's
she has
awesome.
a dog and a friggin' dope house. And I'm like, the dog can't die. So it makes me feel any better. I'm over here like crying about a sim dog.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's hard because you gave them life, and then it's like, I don't want them to die.
Yep.
So yeah.
But yeah, it's a nice mental break, I think, for sure.
It is.
Like my brain turns off. Like it's probably not good, but like in an evening, like I could spend like a couple hours on it and you don't even realize time goes by because you're like still using your brain because you're either getting them to do something or like designing a house, but it takes so much like concentration that you're not really focusing on like what's going on in the real world.
Yeah, it's definitely like part of me is like, what am I doing with my life? But I'm also like, I literally have nothing better to be doing. Like I'm still doing other things. So it's like,
I mean, you're working like
yeah.
So
but like I want to be going out and doing the things that I'm making my Sims do.
Yeah.
Can't do it. So it's perfect.
We're living vicariously through a sim character.
You know, I got a lot of response from when I posted on Instagram, and Rachel downloaded it, and my friend Elise plays it. So yeah, like
they're probably making a ton of money because it's like $6 to get the initial game, and then if you want to get like packs.
Are the packs worth it?
Depends on which one.
Okay.
The pet one, I like the pet one.
Yes.
But it doesn't do anything besides add a pet.
Oh, okay.
But you can like customize the pet, like in the build mode.
That's cool.
You can literally make it, yeah. And then like the city one is cool. The seasons is cool because then you get holidays.
Oh, okay.
But
one thing I really like is that you don't have to water plants. Like you have to water your garden, but you don't have to water your house plants. And I like remember that was a thing.
Oh yeah, or else they would die.
And I'm like, oh thank God, because that was such a pain.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. I used to like play it every day. I think it was in elementary school. Maybe not elementary school, middle school, I guess. Or maybe the end of elementary school into middle school.
Yeah, I don't know how old I was when I was playing that. And I thought for sure, I was like, there's no way this is going to be as fun, like a decade and a half later. Yep. Still just as fun.
Glad I'm not the only one. I've gotten a couple people hooked on it, so I don't feel bad because there's other people who are like obsessing over it. So I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah. No, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
When I say you've led to my demise, I mean it in the best way. I'm happy. So what have you been cooking lately?
Not so much what I've been cooking, more so what Landon's been cooking. I don't remember if I said this in one of our other episodes. I'm realizing how much I really don't enjoy cooking.
Okay.
which is, I always thought like, oh yeah, I like it, I'll get creative. But I think, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just my lack of motivation in the kitchen, because I like my motivation has just been like a lot lesser the last 2 months in general with everything. So I don't know if it's just stemming from that, or if I'm just realizing I just really don't care and don't like getting creative. But Landon has been doing lots of like Pinterest searches. And like coming up with meals with like ingredients of stuff that we already have at home. Whereas I'm just like repeating the same meals every week because I'm buying the same stuff because it's easy and it's already like in our Walmart cart, and I'm like, all right, reorder. But like the other night he made this like honey lime glazed like salmon with like cilantro lime rice.
Ooh.
Over spinach with like mushrooms and onions. And it's all ingredients that we had. I could have easily done it. I just didn't take the time to do the research and put it together.
Interesting.
It was beautiful. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. It just made me really hungry.
Yeah.
I've actually been exploring a little bit more in the kitchen because I don't really like cooking, but I've been trying. We made a really delicious curry dish in the crock pot that had the OG ramen noodles in it. It was supposed to be vegan. Not that I care about that. That was the recipe, but we did put chicken in it because we had some in the freezer. But it turned out really yummy, and I did some like soft-boiled eggs to put on top, and I impressed Matt with that one. I think he gave me a 7 or an 8 out of 10, which he'll only give a 10 to like pizza from New Jersey or like a good cheeseburger or something. Like it has to be like really extra. So I was happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then I made home fresh like biscuits from scratch, like the drop biscuits, and we had that the other morning. That was good. What else? I made a good smoothie yesterday, which I feel like is easy to do, but you can make probably like a million different smoothies because they have opportunities. But it had half a banana, some mango, orange juice, carrots, and vanilla protein powder. So it was like a all like orange based one, but it was actually very delicious. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, we've been doing, because I've shared before how we eat a little bit earlier of a dinner, so I usually get hungry before bedtime, and so I'll usually have something before we go to bed. And we have both been on like a smoothie kick recently, which is super weird to like have at night, but I grew up like loving strawberry milkshakes from McDonald's.
Ooh,
like like anytime I would get, specifically I remember anytime I would get like dental work done or like get a cavity, because I literally would have a cavity every single time we would go to the dentist growing up, which made no sense because I didn't drink a lot of soda or eat a lot of candy, but that's besides the point. So every time I would go to the dentist, I would have a freaking filling that they would have to do, and I wouldn't be able to like chew because it was like one side of your whole mouth is numb. So my mom and I would always go to McDonald's and I would get a strawberry milkshake. And so recently I just tried this new company called First Form, which is, I think I sent you like the back of the ingredients one night because something I had upset my stomach, and I was like, tell me what's in this that's like bugging me. But I tried one of their strawberry, just plain strawberry protein, and I like found this recipe that, well, I didn't find it, I just kind of like discovered it. I put like 8 ounces or maybe 16 ounces. No, I don't know. I'd have to look at like the measurement on the cup, but it's either 8 or 16 ounces of ice, and then a scoop of the strawberry protein with just like almond milk and a little bit of creamer to like make it sweet. And then like 1/4 of a teaspoon of xanthan gum. I don't know why I have it in my cabinet. I must have gotten it like a year or 2 ago when I was baking something. I don't remember buying it. It might be expired. I don't know, but it works. And it makes it like thick because I guess xanthan gum is like a thickening agent. And with that much ice, and you only put, so it's 16 ounces of ice and then 8 ounces of liquid.
Okay.
And when I blend it all up in our like little ninja thing on a certain setting, and after like a minute of it blending, it's literally like the the consistency and thickness of like a Frosty or like a milkshake. And since it's strawberry flavored, it literally tastes like the milkshakes from McDonald's, but without like the ton of dairy that is like what upsets my stomach.
That's wild.
And I've been doing them like every night for the last 2 weeks.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
We were on a black raspberry ice cream kick for a little bit because the Turkey Hill natural sometimes ice cream from the grocery store like makes me very sick to my stomach. Like I get extremely bad gas and it like just hurts for hours. But the ones that are more like, I sound wrapped in diet culture by saying this, but I swear to you, like I've tried it over and over and every time it's the same result. But the ones that are like just real ingredients, like the sugar and cream, they're fine.
Yeah.
And like fresh made ice cream that I get out anywhere it never hurts my stomach. So there must be something in those other ones. But anyway, there was a blackberry swirl one.
Yum.
It's like, oh my gosh, so good. I usually am more of a chocolate, like not chocolate ice cream, but like chocolatey kind of ice cream. But we like got it for several weeks.
Yeah.
I realized that the lack of accessibility to the grocery store is like really messing with my intuition with food, because we keep ice cream around like pretty consistently, but usually like I don't care about it that much. But because I don't have access to it, I have been like, so like the other night I ate like a really large portion and then I wanted to eat more because I was just like, I just really want this right now and I can't, and it's gone. It was gone within like 2 nights of us having it. We ate the half gallon and I was like, I don't usually feel this way, and I know it's because I can't get it. And I thought that was I actually really wanted to talk about that today, just in conversation, because that was a really good reminder that when we set up restrictions, whether it's mental or literal physical restriction, it really messes with your thought process. I think next time we go, I'm going to buy like 3 containers of it so that I don't feel like I have to rush through it, because I feel no guilt about it, like whatsoever. Like I ate some in the middle of the day the other day and it was delightful, but like I feel awful that I can't go get ice cream when I want it, and not in like a first world problem kind of way. Just like I'm just like, it's messing with my head.
Yeah, that just shows how powerful the mind is, because even someone like you who's like pretty far removed from like your past issues with eating, and you've healed and you don't really have an issue with foods anymore, but like being in a completely unknown / relatively traumatic experience, like which everyone's collectively going through, your brain is doing crazy things, and it just shows no one is void of it. And it's like, no wonder people are going freaking crazy during this time, and diet culture is capitalizing on what we're going through, because people are like acting out of fear and using different avenues to control things. Because
I ended up with 3 large cartons of Greek yogurt, because the second time we went shopping during all this, I was panicked and I was like, what if I want yogurt and I can't find yogurt? And I was like, why did I pick? I have no idea why yogurt was the one thing out of everything that I like picked. But I was just like, and then a lot of it went bad because I don't even eat yogurt that much. So it's literally just, it's the scarcity. Like I felt very insecure with food, and I don't know. I've shared that I grew up like not having an unlimited budget, and like we definitely like my mom set strict, like we can't spend more than this at the grocery store. So like it's not like I've been this is the first time I've ever experienced any kind of like limitation, but it's just like, why? So I if anyone else has experiencing that, like I definitely like extend compassion to you, because it just feels like a weird voice in my head that I haven't heard in a long time. And like, but I don't feel any negative association to it anymore. That's what's so confusing. I'm just like, why am I craving this thing out of nowhere. So yeah, but otherwise I've definitely been taking it super easy with movement. I know I like told you that personally the other day.
Yep.
But I was thinking about this, and I may have like stated it before, but I don't think it really sunk in fully until I was kind of reflecting on it the other day. But I think that the whole entire reason I've ever been active, like ever in my life, has been for manipulating my body. And like specifically feeling like upset with myself if my legs felt like jiggly versus like feeling that like toneness, especially like in my quads. And I know there's nothing wrong with doing purposeful physical activity, but like we always talk about how it's your intentions behind your actions, right? So I was thinking the other day, like my body has gotten a little, like I've probably gained a couple of pounds since I've been just chilling more because my exercise routine has changed from me going to group classes like I like. And I was thinking about it the other day, and for a second I was like, man, maybe I should like do something about this. And then I was like, but I don't want to. So it was a weird, like, kind of mind, you know what, because I was like, why am I having that desire? Because I enjoy the like walks we take Sawyer on and like doing some mindful movement through the Headspace app. But one of the girls made us do jumping jacks in the workout, and I got angry because I was like, I thought we were doing like low key stuff, and she definitely had like a voice of, you showed up for this workout, like make sure you keep going. And just the way she said that, like I really am resistant to being told that, because I'm like, it's my choice to move my body the way I want. And I just really don't like, I understand the purpose of like saying that, but it just really like rubs me the wrong way. So I realized that as much as I've done a lot of healing with my relationship with food, I really don't think I ever like considered exercise as needing healing, which is pretty funny because like, duh, but I never used it in an abusive way like I did like in context. Like I never did anything that would look like I abused exercise. Like I did food, but I realized like if my sole reason, like 90% of the time that I ever get active has been to stay in shape because of, not for my heart health or for my mental health, it's been a lot of, until like the past several months, it's always been for like fear of not looking a certain way. Especially when I took a job working at a gym, I felt a lot of pressure for that. And I think that like reinforced some of my thought processes, which I know you understand, but I just, I want to share that because I don't know what took me so long, like no judgment on my own journey or anyone's journey, but I was like, why did that take me so long to figure that out? That like, because I can hear myself now, like, duh, you're experiencing resistance for a reason, because it's not coinciding with your belief system anymore. So I am having to like relearn it. And what feels good to me, which is a weird place to be in, you know, like when you think you've done a lot of work in an area and then it's like, oh, okay, well, here we are.
But it's cool that you're having like this downtime that kind of brings it out. So now you can realize it and also kind of address it. So that way you can learn from it, kind of like move forward with it. And
does that like make sense to you based on knowing me and like the things I've talked about? I think too, like when I got my ACSM certification, I think that's part of like the reason I never talk about it, is because like I'm not that, like I don't know how that aligns with how I feel about exercise anymore. Because when I got it, everyone was like, oh, Danielle's gonna be jacked, and it's like, well, crap, because I don't actually really love doing things that would get me jacked. So how am I supposed to meet that expectation? And I'm sure you understand that.
That's like what drove me into some of the problems because I was like, you have to hold a certain look
Right.
in order to be deemed like knowledgeable in the fitness world. And that's not true, but it's the stigma essentially that's placed on you as being an expert in the field.
Yeah. So like coming back to like strength, I think that is like definitely a positive because it's easier to physically move and do things like activities of daily living when you feel strong.
Yeah.
But I think like I ordered a new yoga mat because they were on sale and got some blocks, and I know I told you that the other day, but I want to like work on my practice because being able to do a headstand recently, headstand, I was like, I've been practicing yoga off and on for 10 years. I've never been able to do that. Like, even though in so many classes that like it ends up doing work to like get you there. And I'm convinced that it's because I haven't been drinking. Like, I'm convinced it's something that's changed in my brain or like in my confidence in my own body, because every time I've ever tried to get upside down, I feel so unsteady and unsure. And I practiced it by myself, and I wasn't like, I did it against the wall at first and I was like, oh, like this is easy. And then I did it again and I was like, I've literally tried to do this so many times and I just didn't feel an ounce of certainty in my abilities. And now all of a sudden I can do it. And it was like time went by and I was like, wow, like I think this is what practicing yoga like actually means. And I just was like, okay, I think this is something I want to get a little bit deeper into, because I know that it always like vibes really well with me, like mentally. It's like a good space. So I think that's what I'm going to be focusing on for a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of my little update on my own journey, which was, wasn't expecting to discover anything like that while I was stuck at home.
That's so cool. And I'm glad you shared that. Because people are probably realizing a lot of things about themselves because you're kind of forced to address things because you're by yourself or with you're not around a lot of people.
Yep.
So you kind of, things are coming up and coming out.
Yeah. So we shall see. I think it's funny too, like, I know we have this podcast and we have listeners, but it's not like the whole world's going to hear me. But sometimes it's kind of nerve-wracking to like say, oh, this is what I'm up to. And then it's like, oh, well, what if I stop doing that tomorrow? But then it's like, that's the whole point of a lot of what we talk about is like, it's your journey. It's like trying to discover what feels right for your body and like what moves you in a positive direction.
Yeah.
And it can change and fluctuate. Like nothing is steady. And not in a bad way either, which is kind of weird because usually change is very disturbing, but I feel like I'm okay with that. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
So cool.
Yeah. Is there anything else on your mind?
I was going to say this. I was thinking about this earlier today because the thought hit me a couple days ago because I've been more active on my account in terms of like sharing workouts like every day. And I even like touched on this today on my Instagram, just like reiterating the fact that, and maybe I want to say this to our listeners too, like, cause I preach intuitive movement, intuitive exercise. And I don't want that message to ever get lost just because I'm like posting workouts every day. And I was touching on that on Instagram to be like, you know, now as a personal trainer, well, I've been a personal trainer, but I was able to channel that passion like in person when I was like with clients one-on-one, but now obviously things are different. And as I'm like moving everything online and like my own personal business, I'm channeling my passion for like fitness and exercise on my page. And I was like battling with like, am I giving away the wrong message by posting workouts every day because I post intuitive movement. Intuitive movement doesn't always look like working out every day. And then I was, you know, in my heart, I'm like, no, I don't feel like I'm going against my message. Like I'm doing it to share my passion and to share like, you know, resources for people who need it. But I wanted to touch on the fact that like it's very easy right now to compare what other people are doing because we're all so much more on social media, like even more than we were before, because we're all stuck at home and like on a Zoom meeting, technically, I mean, if the camera's off, you don't have to be engaging, you know, and so everybody and their grandma is sharing their routines right now, whether it's with food, whether it's with fitness, like whatever it is. It's so much more prevalent than it was before. And I just wanted to like encourage people to stay like your course and do what's best for you, because I know it's so easy to fall into like that comparison trap game just in general on social media, but now add like a global pandemic with everyone being on social media,
Right.
everyone sharing their 2 cents about what they're doing and about what like you should be doing, in air quotes. It's just really easy to get wrapped up and think that like, oh, well, maybe I'm not doing enough, or so-and-so is working out every day, so I need to be working out every day, or so-and-so is eating this to make sure their jeans fit at the end of freaking quarantine. Maybe I should be doing this. And I just wanted to speak to those who are maybe falling in that trap and like, yes, extend compassion to you, because like we're all falling victim to that. Like there are even some days where I see like, I'm like, oh shoot, am I not doing enough? But like, just a gentle reminder that like, if you're working on like this journey of finding intuition and healing,
Right.
and like breaking away from the rigidness and like the control that you have, whether it's through exercise or food, which is what we mainly talk about, like to just remember that like your body knows best, and like you know what's best, and like just because someone else is doing XYZ does not mean that like that's what you need to be or should be doing. And to like encourage you to have confidence in like your ability to make decisions, and like to tune in with your body and do what it's telling you to do, and like don't let somebody else's actions or like routine make you second guess that, because I think there's a lot of that happening right now.
Oh yeah. I'm really glad you said that. I feel like it kind of sucks for you for like being concerned about that, because your whole transition happened like literally like 2 weeks before this entire thing hit. So anything you did differently is just completely coincidental. But yeah, I hope no one ever questions your motive on that or feels pressured by it, because your journey has always been so like genuine and shared with such a good interest. So, but yeah, I think that's awesome, especially coming from someone who's posting that kind of stuff to like remind everyone, because usually when it's that, it's like, oh, well, this is what you're supposed to be doing because this is the way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love hearing that from you. I'm sure it helps a lot of people.
Yeah.
There was some kind of sugar detox thing. I've seen so many things like that everywhere, and I like read it to Matt and I was like, oh, you want to pay money to cut sugar out of your life and be completely unhappy for 2 weeks, and then it cause a complex with you when you reintroduce it? And it just was, we were just laughing about it because that stuff used to tempt me so much.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, please get out of my news feed. Like this is not good. Like, why are you doing this?
I know. I've been seeing a lot of that, and it's just frustrating because it's like, I know people probably have, I don't want to think ill of anyone, and I like want to give the benefit of the doubt and think that people have good intentions, but like when you're wrapped up in the diet culture mentality, like again, that's going to capitalize on everything you do during this right now. And it's just hard because there's so many people I see right now who are promoting like, all right, let's all do a 10-day sugar detox, or there's even something going around about, what is it? I think it's like someone was telling me about this the other day. It's like 100-day detox, where you're working out and you're cutting calories or something like that. And it's to like help motivate people during quarantine. But I'm like, if only people knew and were educated about like the repercussions and the consequences and of like the end result of that. Because I think that's what I don't know. It's just frustrating because it's coming from a lack of education and people not knowing the end result, and then kind of setting people up for failure for the people who buy into that. And then, I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of that going on right now because people are looking for that. People are looking for someone to tell them what to do and how to combat all of these thoughts that diet culture is putting in your head about, oh, you're not going to fit in your clothes at the end of quarantine. You're not moving. You're sitting around. So you need to restrict
summer body is canceled, like that kind of trash.
So it's just frustrating to see a flood of all of that, because there was one point where I felt like more people were realizing it, and we were, as like a society, obviously I don't know if it's ever going to be fully on one end, but like it just felt like there was starting to be a shift, and more people were going towards like, oh, I used to compete for 5 years and now it screwed me over, and like I'm learning to love my body no matter the size. And there were a lot more people, at least in the industry, like for fitness, that I saw who were kind of showing like glimmers of like, oh, they might be like catching on and like moving towards this direction. Not to say that like our way is the only, like, not to say that like we're the only ones who know like the only way to go about things, but like it did seem like there was starting to be a shift in the positive direction.
I agree.
Slightly, but then now it's like with all this fear mongering, diet culture has made like a second wave and has captured everybody again to be like, no, like we need to control everything and manipulate our bodies through food and exercise, because we're all going, like, I'm gonna capitalize on the trauma that you're going through. And it's just, I'm so frustrated. I'm like, we're so close.
I know, but we will keep fighting what we feel is the good and right fight. So
Is there anything else you wanted to touch on?
I don't think so. That felt good.
Yeah.
Good chat.
50 good minutes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. I forgot the past couple of weeks to say, but we are on YouTube now, our Fit Fueled Free channel. We're posting our recordings since me and Jenna are doing Zoom calls during the COVID-19 stuff. So you can watch along with us there and watch and listen instead of just listen. And as always, if you could give us a rating and review on iTunes, that would be super awesome so that we can reach more listeners. And Jenna and I both have things that we're contributing to help people with healing relationship with food. I have a guide out right now and it'll be accessible like indefinitely if you reach out to me. And Jenna has a workout guide and is posting all her workouts to help with movement ideas. And if you want to connect with us, our shared Instagram page is Fit Fueled Free. My personal page is dmarliaL, and Jenna's is JennaFit. And we also have a Gmail account, fitfueledfree@gmail.com, where we're happy to receive any emails with questions, comments, or concerns. So stay safe and well, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye, guys.